Another very famous Chassidut that's confused all the time is Breslov. We're sitting here in Breslov. We're learning here in Breslov because Rabbi Nachman of Breslov was Kodesh Kodashim. But unfortunately, some people that call themselves Breslovers are crazy. They're not Breslovers. They just call themselves that. They just wear a costume. So just the other day, somebody sent me a letter and said to me, listen, all the stuff that you're doing is good, but realistically in this generation, all you have to worry about is one thing. I said, Baruch Hashem, the whole Torah in one law, Shtabach Shemo La'ad. Why? You made it easy for me. So what's this law? He says, all you need to believe is that Rabbi Nachman was the Gilgul, was the reincarnation of Moshe Rabbeinu, and that's it, everything is good. You're taking Rabbi Nachman, you're taking Moshe Rabbeinu, you're taking the Torah, you put it all in the garbage. Who told you such stupidity? Like, who said such things? Where did you get this stuff from? What do you guys, like, find your Torah in a fortune cookie? Where'd you get it from? Like, where do these people get this stuff from? People think that Breslov is a bunch of people that break dance in the middle of the street. They go, oh, emunah, emunah. What emunah? I'll tell you something that was chidush for me. I mean, I've read some of the stuff by Rabbi Nachman, but this was new for me. I only learned it today with my Rav. Because it's very, very interesting, because today, most people don't even know what Breslov is, even the Breslovers sometimes. It's like almost like we skip. So in Sichot Aran, that Rabbi Natan, his Talmid Muvak, his main Talmid, wrote his books. In Sichot Aran, Rabbi Nachman says the following, in Perek 5, Hey. He says the following. Now everyone knows Breslov, they know happy, emunah, emunah, happy, emunah, breakdance, go to Uman, breakdance more. Okay. People always talk about Yirat Shamayim, like, no, you should be a Breslover. You should be a Breslover. I said, okay, you should be a Breslover too. Why? Because this is what he says. Rabbi Nachman says, Ki ikar ha'avodah betchila hi rak michamat yirat ha'onesh. He says, the main key of serving Hashem, the main key, is fear of punishment. Main key, foundation, beginning. Before you talk about anything, talk emunah, avat Hashem, anything, before you even say Shema Yisrael, you should know the bare base, the first step you take on the 5,000 steps to get to Shemayim. First step, Yirat HaOnesh, meaning pure fear of Hashem punishing you. The beginning. That's what Rabbi Nachman is saying. Why? Ubli Yirat HaOnesh, אי אפשר להתחיל כלל בעבודת Hashem. This is because without fear of pure punishment, we're not talking about fear of you're not going to get to a high level of Chassidut, or you're not going to be Talmid Chacham. No, we're talking about pure Gehenom. Without fear of Gehenom, whether this world or the next world, אי אפשר להתחיל כלל בעבודת Hashem. You cannot even begin serving Hashem. Can't begin. It's not even step one. Everything you're doing is tainted. Everything you're doing is perverted. Without having the very basic level, you know who you're dealing with here. Ve'afilu tzadikim. He says here, Ve'afilu tzadikim tzrichim gam ken yirah. Even the tzadikim need this. It's not like just for the regular people. Don't just think I'm talking about all the balei tshuva that are breakdancing. No, he says, even the tzadikim gam ken tzrichim yirah. Why? Ki ovdei me'ahava em mu'atim me'od me'od. Because people that serve Hashem out of love are very, very few. What is he talking about? His generation. His Talmidim. Imagine us. His Talmidim, he says, there's very few people that exist in the world that serve Hashem out of actual love. V'ikaru yirat ha'onesh. The ikar, the key, is, again he repeats it. He repeats them 10 times just in this page. The ikar, the key is to know there must be a fear of onesh, of pure punishment. Ki ha'ira ila'a begin deu rav v'shalit. Use a pasuk. Ainu yirat ha'romemut. Eventually you get to yirat ha'romemut. What about it? Lav kol adam zocheh lezot ha'ira. Not every person gets to that level of yirah. You know, some people say, yeah, but what about, the highest level of yirat shamayim? Okay, yirat shamayim, we understand. He goes, no, not everybody gets to the high level. Why? אבל עיקר העבודה הוא רק על ידי יראת העונש אצל רוב בני אדם. Most people, the highest level they can reach is just fearing of punishment. All this higher levels of emunah and yirat romemut and avat Hashem, loving Hashem, and so on and so forth. He says even in his generation, a couple of 100 years ago, he says very few people ever get there. So all of these people, these speakers, or whatever they are, that are telling the public you should really focus on loving Hashem, you should be like Rabbi Nachman. I don't know which Rabbi Nachman they're talking about. Because this Rabbi Nachman doesn't talk about it. He doesn't say that. He says you want to serve Hashem? Start with fearing punishment, pure fearing. Why? Because once you fear punishment, that means you have an idea of who you're dealing with. He's not your buddy. He's your God. Once you know who you're dealing with, maybe you can get to loving Hashem and so on and so forth. But don't think that loving Hashem is the standard. Because even he says, most people it's completely not relevant to them. And he continues, why? היינו אחר תאוות רעות של העולם הזה, רחמנא ליצלן, רק מחמת יראת העונש, הוא שובר תאוותו ונכנס בדרכי השם. He says, why is yirat Hashem? Why is fear of the punishment critical? It's the only thing that can break a person's ta'avot, a person's desires, and gets him to go in the way of Hashem. Meaning, the only way that a person can begin their tshuva is pure fear. Fear of bad things happening. It could be bad things in this world, like losing money, losing health, losing wife, losing kids, losing whatever you want. Or it's if you could relate to losing something in the next world. The point is, that fear is the only way to start tshuva. This is from who? Rabbi Nachman. Not from Yaron Reuven. They didn't ask me before they wrote this. And it continues, you could see it yourself. The point is that today, there's a lot of confusion when you're taking these holy rabbis' Torah and you're perverting it in so many different ways, it eventually becomes idolatry, it becomes something else. And realistically, most of those people, they don't know what they said. They don't learn anything. You ask some of these people anything about Parashat Shavua, anything about Gemara, anything, they don't know anything. They just know Rebbe. They know things that are superficial. The Rebbe said this, and most of the time the Rebbe didn't say anything of what they're saying. So it's very important to know what's the difference between Tameh and Ta'or, because if a person is taking his zealousness for his rabbi, and he loves his rabbi so much, too far, he could literally turn his mitzvah into a chilul Hashem. And that's a very, very difficult problem to have when we arrive at Shamayim after 120. To arrive with a tank full of chilul Hashem is a serious, serious problem.